device. Good Lord. It's like a plumbing instrument.
Yeah.
It's like a spigot. What's up? How's everybody doing?
Starting us off.
You know, probably feel similarly after the day.
There we go.
Well, yeah, no, I mean, I think the romance will continue with Rosalie. I think it's really kind of about carrying forward with helping my friend get out of this really bad predicament he's in, but don't trust these writers because they're going to make it more difficult than you know, they make it hard, and that's fun because drama is conflict, and I'm sure there's going to be troubles ahead. I mean, I'd like to see Monroe, you know, I'd like to see the inner conflict come back. You know, I'd like to see there be not like the you know, how I use the morph usually for good. I'd like to see the temptation come back, and I'm sure I bet you they'll get to that. They all look, these guys write themselves into corners, and they don't know where they're going. So we certainly don't. They have a big picture, but then they like to make it difficult for themselves because the more difficult it is, the more fun it is in a way. You know what I mean? No, and they don't. It's not a certainty that they're. I mean, it's another idea they're floating. I would love to see who they would cast. That's a fun thought experiment.
What can you tell us about them and Rosalie wedding?
Nothing. I have no idea. I'm surprised they even said anything. I didn't find out until I read TV Guide, which I didn't even read. I found it, like, Bree sent me the thing where it was like, what?
Congratulations.
Yeah, right, thanks. I mean, who knows? I think, like I've said this before, but I think it's really going to be more about getting there than it is about the wedding itself. There will be a lot of complications to the point where who knows if it'll even happen. That's where I feel.
That's what I've always been really confused about. When these plot points come up and you hear about them, how soon do you get a script that'll detail something before you actually have to act it on set?
Not very far in advance. And if they really need you to know something big, like the wedding thing, like I guess they'll tell you, which they did in an oblique way, because they didn't really tell us, they did it in an interview. So it was third person, so really very little warning. Which is fun, it keeps you on your toes.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you guys.
Hey, it's good to be back. Yeah. Well, I don't know what it's we are in the middle of shooting 301 right now, and it's already just been really rewarding just to get in on the action. I was late today because the makeup artist told me we're doing bruises. So there's some heavy stunts going on in the first episode of season 3, because we obviously have to go rescue Nick and figure out how to do that, and we're running around the container yard. It's just, I think it'll be interesting going forward. They, you know, for 44 episodes now, she's really been in the dark for the most part. And I think, you know, obviously it's not going to be an easy integration, because Juliet's the only character who's not a cop and not a vessel. So I've always sort of approached her as being the one through which the audience, the normal people, view the action. And, like, it's nuts. You know, it's fun, it's fantasy, but if you put yourself in her shoes, it's totally crazy what's going on. So I just, you know, in the scene where everybody's morphing, it was like, what would I do if that actually happened? I mean, it's mind-blowing.
So honestly, because more used to these things, who do you think will take over as that conflict? Because you're right, the audience needs an we need to be able to see the show for all that.
I don't know. I know that they're going to introduce some pretty important guest star recurrings this season, so it might be one of them. I know that they're, you know, they were sort of alluding to something in the panel about there being possibly another Grimm getting introduced. Obviously, that wouldn't be my character's eyes. I think, you know, for the most part, as long as she remains, and who knows, seasons down the road, as long as she remains a normal person, then I think it's still going to always be her eyes. Yeah. I don't know that she's a voice of reason. I mean, she's losing her mind all of season 2, so I would say almost the opposite. But yeah,
As Juliet's a veterinarian, will she take on a more supportive role like Rosalie? Will she be learning from Rosalie, like the types of remedies to help?
I think the intention is for them to be working together. You know, Juliet is a doctor, and Rosalie obviously is sort of almost a doctor of medicine with all her cures for all these ailments and stuff. But you know, you will see some episodes too where it's not necessarily just going to be a Vesson that's getting murdered. I think they're going to sort of focus a little bit more on actually what would happen if a real person got in on the action and something inadvertently happened to them.
They were actually all the good ones.
Well, I'll say something. I mean, this is a really, obviously you're playing with all these fantastic concepts. How many times on a regular basis do you think the script have that jog up and down the you go, that's going to be a little freaky?
Well, there was, you know, I remember when we shot season 2, episode 13, Face Off, Sasha, I texted Sasha because I was like, oh, is Jen totally playing a trick on us? Because it was the scene where I beat up Captain Bernard and we're making out and I'm like ripping his shirt off and the buttons are flying and I didn't think it was real. The way it was scripted was that scene times like 5 or 6. Obviously it was edited down for TV, but I thought it was a joke. So that was kind of a moment where you're just like, this is totally insane. And also, the episode we're shooting right now, 301, is so huge in scope, it really feels like a movie. There's a tremendous amount of stunts. There's a tremendous amount of action. They're getting a lot done. It's basically all exteriors, all at night. You know, it's not the sort of the same settings that we're used to. It's, you know, sort of uprooting everybody to deal with the zombies. But it's fun. You know, the truth is, we don't know further than a couple episodes out what's going on. I've really only read up through episode 3 of season 3, so we're getting them as we're going. I haven't done that many stunts. I mean, I've had a few episodes each season where I've had to do something active and they've had to bring in a double. Obviously, NBC's incredibly careful with us and we all have doubles, but Bree and Silas and I were doing some stunts this week that were pretty crazy. Actually, everybody was doing some kind of natural stuff. Russell was as well. And, you know, we have doubles, but you want to do as much as possible without endangering yourself. It picks up immediately from the end of the season 6 finale.
You guys are so sorry.
It was nice to see you guys.
You loving it?
Yeah, true reflection of the
You
acting.
guys have to say that? Yes, because I asked and I'm here. But I'll read about it on your blogs later.
Yeah.
Anyway. That's just Davey G letting loose. Yeah. Sorry to refer to myself as Davey G. No. It's just face rest. I'm Italian. This is like 9 hours.
Which kind of leads me to a thought. I mean, there's a whole legion of women now, some of my friends included, who ask questions on you through this show. What's it like to be that guy all of a sudden? Be the hero and the guy that's like...
Well, that never occurs to me, really, because that kind of thing happens outwardly, but I never see it, and I don't feel that, so I'm flattered totally that you say that, but like, it's like I don't believe that in a way, you know? I don't think you're lying, but, you know, it's weird. It happens out in, not in out.
When you were on
I've only seen 3 scripts. And, you know, as time goes on, Nick, you know, he inherently is a good police officer and detective. And he's like this, grim blood is this thing, it's like justice. You want justice. You get angry when you don't expect it, maybe more so than others. But you kind of want the straight and narrow. And as the seasons go on, the more I am forced to, you know, lie, go out of the role of an actual detective. So that's how he evolves, and I think he also just gets more confident, stronger. Now that he has his people, he's like got this solid foundation. And yeah, he's really not afraid of much anymore. Well, I'm going to cough for much of it. So yeah, for instance, for example, they filmed 5 days already this episode, and I've not been to Portland yet. Hence the beard. And I go back Monday and I start filming, but it still will be called Grimm. I will be in the show. I'm not dead. But I'm taking a rest right now, and I wake up and I'm just like irate. I'm just very bothered. I'm a zombie, and I'm kind of destroy everything in my path. And they have to kind of handle it.
Thank you guys. I gotta take you to the next table.
Thank you. Have a good one.